Okay, welcome back dear students to the tutorial about the chemical applications of group theory, and this is the sixth video in this series. We have been discussing about the chemical application of group theory in spectroscopy. In the last several videos we had been discussing about the application of group theory in IR and Raman spectroscopy. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the application of group theory in electronic spectroscopy, UV visible spectroscopy. Okay. Electronic spectroscopy, or also known as UV visible spectroscopy, because electronic transition takes place in the UV visible region. Actually, it is a transfer of electrons from the ground electronic level to the excited electronic level. Okay. And you will be stated that electrons are transferred from highest occupied molecular orbital to lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, or you may be stated that transitions are mainly from pi to pi star orbital, n to pi star orbital, like that. Okay. And during electronic transition, the light required is UV visible light. So it is also known as UV visible spectroscopy. And during electronic transition, there will be a change in dipole moment. Okay, because from a bonding orbital to anti-bonding orbital, transition of electron from a bonding orbital to anti-bonding orbital, there will be change in bond order. So consequently, there will be change in bond length. So dipole moment will change. So electronic transition are electric dipole transition. So the transition moment operator, the probability for electronic transition, that is transition moment operator, is a electric dipole operator. That is, transition probability equation will be Px proportional to psi I x psi f d tau. Okay, or Py is equal to psi I y psi f d tau, Pz is equal to psi I z psi f d tau. Well, actually this x, y, z are the components of the dipole moment in x, y, z direction, because it is a final equation. This is the actually these three are the final equation. Okay, x, y, z represents the symmetries of the transition dipole moment vectors in x, y, z directions. That means the equations are almost similar to that of the we are used in IR and Raman spectroscopy. Sorry, IR spectroscopy. Okay. Now, if we know the symmetry species of psi I and psi f, we can easily predict the transition probability, because the symmetries of x, y, z we can easily find out from the character table. So if we know the symmetry of psi I and psi f, then the product of the symmetries of psi I, symmetry of x, y, or z, and symmetry of psi f, we are taking the direct product of these three symmetries, and if the symmetry is if the symmetry is a totally symmetric representation, then transition moment operator will be integral will be non-zero, then the transition will takes place. That we have already studied. Okay. To know how psi I and psi f transition transform, we have to know the actual electronic configuration. To find out the symmetries of psi I and psi f, we have to know the actual electronic configuration. For that, we take an example, formaldehyde as an example. Formaldehyde, HCHO. Like it is a molecule belongs to which point group? This molecule belongs to C2V point group. Okay. And we are mainly considering the CO group because electronic transition is mainly taking place in unsaturated species. Okay, that you might have studied. Okay, we are considering the carbonyl group. In carbonyl group, it contains electrons in bonding sigma and pi orbital. Actually, the configuration is we are considering CO group. we are considering the CO group. So there are 6 electrons in oxygen, and 2 electrons of carbon is used to bonding with oxygen, other 2 with the other species, hydrogen. Okay, so total of 6 plus 2, 8 electron. The actually configuration will be the sigma 2, pi 2, and 4 electron, and the other 4 electrons are present in the non-bonding orbitals. Non-bonding orbitals of oxygen. That is actually 2p, x2 and s2. Okay, these are the electron occupied orbital. That is a sigma and a pi bonding orbital, and a 2px and s non-bonding orbital. And there are unoccupied orbitals, that is a pi star anti-bonding unoccupied orbital and a sigma star unoccupied orbital. And that is written here. The CO group contains electrons in bonding sigma and pi orbital. This sigma 2 and pi 2. And electrons in non-bonding orbital, 2px2 and s2, 2px and s orbital of oxygen. And CO group also contains anti-bonding sigma star and pi star orbital, which are unoccupied, or which are empty. Okay, and electrons can undergo transition from one of these bonding orbital or non-bonding orbital to anti-bonding orbital. That is, transition may be from this sigma to pi star, or pi to pi star, or pi to sigma star, or from the non-bonding orbital 2px to pi star, or 2px to sigma star, or s2 to pi star, or s to sigma star. But transition is mainly from the occupied bonding or non-bonding orbitals to the unoccupied anti-bonding orbital. That is, mainly we are considering 2 types of transition: pi to pi star transition and n to pi star transition. Transition from pi bonding to anti-bonding pi star, and transition from non-bonding orbital to anti-bonding pi star orbital. These are the 2 transition we are mainly considering. Okay, then next, if we listen. The molecule belongs to C2b point group. I already told you CHO molecule belong to C2b point group. Okay, then the sigma bond has its axis in the Z, or we can say, look at the picture. Sigma bond is formed by 2pz orbital of carbon and oxygen. 2pz orbital of carbon and oxygen. Right. Sigma bond is formed by the overlapping of 2pz orbital of carbon and oxygen. So it's picture like this. This is x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. This is the bonding sigma orbital. Okay, and this is the anti-bonding sigma star orbital. Shape is little different. It is a bigger lobe at the center and 2 smaller lobes at the ends. Actually, here it is plus sign, it is minus sign. And in this case, 2 smaller lobes at the center and 2 bigger lobes at the ends. And here it is minus, it is plus, minus, plus. Okay, that is shape of sigma and sigma star orbit is formed by 2pz orbital. And now the pi and pi star orbitals are formed by py orbital of carbon and oxygen. Py orbital of carbon and py orbital of oxygen. Okay, and the shape of these orbitals are pi orbital. This is z, y and x axis. Okay, this is the shape of the, actually this is in the x, y, z plane. A lobe here and a lobe here. It is plus sign, it is minus sign. Okay, it is plus, it is minus. And this is the shape of the pi star orbital. A little different. This is anti-bonding orbital, this is bonding orbital. A smaller lobe here, another small lobe over here, another small lobe down, another smaller lobe. Sign is, you can see here, here it is minus, then here it is plus. Here minus, here plus. Okay. So this is sigma orbital, sigma star orbital, pi orbital and pi star orbital. Okay. Now consider the transformation of these orbitals by the symmetry elements of the C2V point group. C2V point group has 4 symmetry elements E, C2, sigma V and sigma star, sigma V dash. First is sigma orbital. This is sigma orbital. On applying E, no change, so character is 1. On C2 also, this is a C2 axis. Just rotate, no change in the sign or orientation. Again, character is 1. And sigma V xz, sigma V xz actually passing through the center of this molecule, so this orbital, no change in the character, orientation or sign, so character is 1. And sigma V yz is this plane. Then also no change in the orientation or sign, it is again 1. Similar is in the case of sigma star orbital. The characters will be 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. But in the case of pi orbital, during E operation, no change. So character is 1. But during C2 operation, C2 is C2Z. Rotating from Z axis, this plus lobe become here and minus lobe become here. Therefore, character will be minus 1. And similar the case of sigma V xz. This is a Z x axis and a plane passing through the center of these two lobes. Again, the lobes interchange, plus and minus interchange. So the character is minus 1. But in the case of sigma V dash, that is this plane, in that case, no change in sign. So it is 1. Similar is the case of pi star orbital. E, no change. C2, plus and minus interchange, character is minus 1. Sigma V xz is plane passing through the center of these two lobes. Again character, so the sign changes. Again it is minus 1. And sigma V dash actually this plane, no change in sign, therefore it is 1. Okay, then listen, look at the character table. You can, okay, see the character table of C2V. The characters 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1 belongs to A1 representation. So sigma orbital has A1 symmetry. And sigma star also 1, 1, 1, 1. It is also A1 symmetry. Okay, pi and pi star 1, minus 1, minus 1, 1. Where is that? Here 1, minus 1, minus 1, 1. It is B2 symmetry. That means pi and pi star orbital has B2 symmetry. Okay, listen carefully. Sigma orbital has A1 symmetry. Sigma star orbital also have A1 symmetry. Pi and pi star orbitals have B2 symmetry. Okay, now look at the symmetries of the non-bonding Px and S orbital. Okay, the non-bonding orbitals are Px and S orbital of oxygen atom. Okay, oxygen, actually these lone pairs, non-bonding electrons are present in oxygen. Okay, isn't it? The lone pair of electrons are present in oxygen atom. Therefore, non-bonding orbitals are Px and S orbital of oxygen. Symmetries, look at the character table. Okay, again, you can see that symmetry of Px orbital is, we have already studied that, same as that of the symmetry of X. Okay, and that is B1. Symmetry of Px is symmetry of the X. Okay, and that is B1. And symmetry of S orbital is always A1. Because S orbital is spherically symmetric shape. All the symmetry operation have no effect on the S orbital. So it always has character 1, 1, 1. S orbital always have A1 symmetry. Okay, so you can see here Px orbital forms B1 and Px orbital transforms as B1, S orbital transforms as A1. Here we are using small letters B1, A1 like that. Here also sigma and sigma star transforms as A1 pi and pi star transforms as B2 because orbital symmetry is represented in small letters. Overall symmetry is represented in capital letters. Here we are representing the orbital symmetry, so we are using the small letters. Capital letters, no problem. You can use that also. Okay. Now, okay, thus we got this. That is symmetry of sigma orbital is A1. Symmetry of sigma star orbital is A1. Symmetry of pi orbital is B2. Pi star orbital is B2. And the non-bonding orbital Px orbital is B1. And S orbital is A1. And these are the symmetries. Now, the symmetry of the ground electronic configuration. Okay, ground electronic configuration of CO. I told you carbon, we are considering only 2 electron, other 2 is bonded with hydrogen, considering only 2, and oxygen 6 plus 2, 8 electron. So the ground electronic configuration of CO group is sigma 2, pi 2, bonding orbital and non-bonding orbital S2 and Px2. These are on the oxygen atom. So the corresponding overall symmetry, okay, symmetry of sigma is A1, so A1 square. Symmetry of pi is B2, so it is B2 square. Okay, then symmetry of S orbital symmetry is A1, then A1 square. Symmetry of Px orbital is B1, it is B1 square. Okay, and we know that any symmetry or any character, any irreducible representation multiply with itself always get A1 configuration. So A1 square is A1, B2 square also A1, A1 square also A1, B1 square also A1, A1 into A1 into A1 into A1, that means A1. That means the ground electronic configuration, that is psi I, belongs to A1. Okay, ground wave function for the ground electronic configuration is A1 symmetry. Okay, so psi I is equal to A1. Clear? Next, we want to find out the psi EF, and for that, first we consider pi star transition. Pi to pi star transition. We are considering pi to pi star transition. So the excited state will be, this was the ground state, that is sigma 2, pi 2, and S2, Px2. This was the ground state configuration. So an excitation of an electron from pi to pi star orbital, the configuration becomes sigma 2, pi 1, and another electron is transferred into pi star. So pi star 1, S2 and Px2 are the non-bonding electrons. So the overall symmetry is sigma. I told you sigma has bit symmetry, A1 symmetry, and pi also has sigma star also has A1 symmetry. Pi is B2 and pi star also B2. Px is B1 and S is A1. So it is sigma square. Sigma is here. Sigma is A1. So A1 square. And pi 1. Pi is B2. Okay. So it is B2 here. Again here pi star also B2. Pi star is B2 here. Then A1, S2. S orbital is A1 symmetry. So A1 square. Then Px2. Px is B1 symmetry. So B1 square. Now A1 square is equal to A1. B2 into B2 is equal to A1. A1 square is equal to A1. B1 square is equal to A1. And that is A1 symmetry. So psi f also belongs to A1. Okay. Psi f is also belongs to A1. Now, so we get psi I is A1 symmetry and psi F also has A1 symmetry. Now consider the transition moment integral. That is P proportional to integral psi I x, y or z, symmetry of any one of these, x, y or z, into psi f d tau. Symmetry of psi I is A1. Symmetry of x, y or z. See, symmetry of psi f is A1. So to get totally symmetric representation, symmetry of x, y or z, any one of them should be A1. So look at the character table of C2V. Character table of C2V. Z transforms as A1. So consider Z only. Z is transforms as A1. So A1 into A1 into A1, and that is A1. Okay, A1 into A1 into A1 is equal to okay, so this is A1 totally symmetric representation. So the PZ is not equal to 0. PZ is not equal to 0. Therefore, pi to pi star transition is an allowed transition in carbonyl group. Carbonyl group, pi to pi star transition allowed. So you will observe that pi pi star transition will be observed in carbonyl group, and it has higher intensity because it is an allowed transition. Okay, the intensity will be higher. Okay, and now next is n pi star transition. Next we are going to discuss about the n pi star transition. Let the non-bonding orbital, I told you it is px or s orbital. Let's transform from px to pi star transition. Non-bonding, it may be px orbital or s orbital. We are considering transformation from px to pi star. So the final configuration will be sigma 2 pi 2 s2 px2 one electron transferred into pi star. Therefore, it is px1 and pi star 1. Okay. So the total overall symmetry will be sigma is A1. So sigma square is A1 square. Pi is B2. So pi square is B2 square. S orbital is A1 symmetry. So it is A1 square. Px is, I told you, sigma A1, sigma star A1, pi B2, pi star B2, Px is B1, and S is A1. We already discussed. So it is Px. Px is B1. So it is B1. Pi star is B2. So it is B2. A1 square is equal to A1. B2 square is equal to A1. A1 square is equal to A1. Then B1 into B2. B1 into B2 by direct product, I am not explaining. You can check that by direct product of B1 into B2 you get A2. So A1 into A1 into A1 into A2 is equal to A2. That's clear. A1 into A2 is equal to A2. A1 is totally symmetric. Multiply totally symmetric, multiply with any other symmetry will be that symmetry itself. Okay. So A1 into A2 is equal to A2 itself. Therefore, P proportional to psi I x, y or z psi f into d tau. And psi I is equal to A1. Psi I is equal to, here we already got psi I is equal to A1 symmetry. And psi f, here we got psi f is equal to A2 symmetry. Okay, so psi I is equal to A1, psi f is equal to A2. Then x transforms as B1, y transforms as B2, z transforms as A1. If any of this should have A2 symmetry, then only the direct product will be totally symmetric, A1 it will be obtained. Okay. If any of the symmetry of x, y or z is same as that of symmetry of psi f, that is A2, then only the direct product will be totally symmetric A1 representation. But none of the symmetries of x, y or z belongs to A2. So x is B1, y is B2, z is A1. You can see it in the character table. You see here, look at the character table. Z is A1, x is B1, y is B2. No x, y, z belongs to A2. Okay. So the direct product will be direct product of this cannot be A1. This is not equal to totally symmetric A1 representation. Okay, clear? It is actually therefore the P is equal to 0. It is not equal to 0. So the transition is forbidden. Neither, you can see here, neither of X, Y or Z belongs to A2 symmetry. So N to pi star transition is forbidden. Okay, clear that pi star transition is a allowed transition, but N pi star transition is a forbidden transition. Even though you can see in the carbonyl group a line for N to pi star transition, but the intensity will be very weak. N to pi star transition is forbidden according to symmetry consideration. According to symmetry consideration, N to pi star transition is forbidden. Pi star is allowed transition, allowed according to symmetry consideration. Therefore, its epsilon value, that is its intensity, will be high. Whereas N to pi star transition is a forbidden transition, therefore its intensity or epsilon value will be low, approximately 10 raised to minus 3, whereas it is 10 raised to 3. Okay, it is a forbidden transition even though we can observe the line, but intensity will be very low. Okay, why, even though it is forbidden, why it is allowed? We can explain using again using the symmetry consideration. Okay, you read here. The pi star transition is an allowed transition, and that will be give you an intense peak. N pi star is forbidden, but a weak band observed due to accompanying vibrational transition. You may study that electronic transition always accompanied by vibrational transition. Electronic transition is accompanied by vibrational transition. The wave function, actually is the product of electronic and vibrational part. The wave function we are considered here only the electronic part is considered. Actually, there will be a accompanying vibrational transition. So we have to consider both electronic wave function, the product of the electronic wave function, and vibrational wave function. Okay, so psi is actually psi electronic into psi vibrational. Okay, but we have considered only electronic part. Then that is why we get a forbidden result. Okay, now psi I is equal to, actually the psi I is equal to psi I electronic into psi I vibrational. Okay, we know that is psi, see here, psi I, actual psi I is equal to psi I of electronic wave function and psi I of vibrational. And psi I electronic we already got, it is A1 symmetry. Okay, in the previous slide we studied that psi I, because psi I is sigma 2 pi 2 px2 s2, that is sigma is A1 symmetry. So A1 raised to 2, pi 2 is B2 symmetry, B2 raised to 2, px2 is B1 raised to 2, it is A1 raised to 2, and this is equal to A1 into A1 into A1 into A1, that is equal to A1. So psi I electronics is A1. And psi I vibrational, we studied that all ground vibrational levels have A1 symmetry, totally symmetric. Do you remember? In the vibrational, while we are discussing about the vibrational spectroscopy, we have discussed that, we have studied that all ground vibrational transitions are totally symmetric, therefore is A1. So A1 into A1 is equal to A1. That means psi I, even though we are considering vibrational wave function, it is A1 symmetry. Psi I is A1 symmetry. And psi f is equal to, psi f also equal to psi f electronic into psi f vibrational. Okay. Now, if in the case of n pi star transition, the n pi star transition, the final configuration is sigma 2 pi 2 s2 2px1 and pi star 1. Okay, so it is a1 raised to 2, it is b2 raised to 2, again a1 raised to 2. Now px1 is b1 and pi star 1 is b2. So it is a1 into a1, b2 raised to 2 is a1 raised to 2 is a1, b1 into b2 is equal to a2, and that is equal to a2. That is psi f electronic. Okay, and if psi f vibrational is such that, actual psi f is psi f electronic into psi f vibrational. Okay, that is psi f final or actual psi f is equal to psi f electronic into psi f vibrational. Psi f electronic is A2 symmetry. Okay, then psi f vibrational is such that, like, if it has A2 vibration is such that psi f electronic into psi f vibrational has the same symmetry as x, y or z, the corresponding px, py or ps will be non-zero. That is, we know the transition moment integral is probability of transition is integral minus infinity to plus infinity psi I, the symmetry of x, y or z into symmetry of psi f d2. Okay, if symmetry of psi f is such that it is same as that of x, y or z, then this integral will not vanish or not equal to 0, then transition will be probable. So if you are considering psi f vibrational such that psi f electronic into psi f vibrational, that is psi f actual psi f, has the same symmetry as x, y or z, the corresponding probability will takes place. Okay, in the case of, look at here, in the case of C2V point group, psi f electronic is A2. I told you psi f electronic is A2. Electronic is sigma 2 pi 2 s2 px1 and pi star 1. Okay, that is sigma is b2, sorry, sigma is a1 raised to 2, b2 raised to 2, then it is s2, again a1 raised to 2, px b1 pi star 1, that is b2, and by multiplying this we get A2 symmetry. So psi f electronic is A2. If psi f vibration is A2, if suppose if a vibrational level we are considering, that is from ground state to the excited vibrational level is A2, then psi f is equal to psi f electronic, that is A2, into psi f vibrational, that is A2, that is A1. A2 into A2 is equal to A1. That is total, the actual psi f is equal to A1. Then P proportional to psi I x, y or z into psi f d2. Okay, and we know that psi I is equal to A1. And symmetry of x, y or z, and before that psi f is equal to A1. Psi f is equal to A1. So if any symmetry of any one of these x, y, z is A1, then it will be totally symmetric. We know that symmetry of z is equal to A1. Symmetry of z is equal to A1. Okay, so A1 into A1 into A1 is equal to A1, that is totally symmetric. Then P not equal to 0, the transition become probable. Okay, in the last case we showed that actually this n pi star transition is forbidden, but it takes place, it occurs, we can see the line. It is due to this accompanying vibrational transition, because if we consider the actual psi f, actual wave function, we have to consider the wave function of vibrational level. So by considering electronic and vibrational wave function, then it may become probable. Okay, that is the point. Another case, if psi f is b2, psi f vibrational is b2. Okay, then the total psi f is equal to psi f electronic, that is A2. Psi of electronic is A2 here. Then psi of vibrational is, suppose it is B2, then A2 into B2 is equal to B1. Then P proportional to psi I x by or z psi of d dou, and psi I is equal to A1 and psi f is equal to B1. And the symmetry of either x, y or z is equal to B1, then B1 into B1 is equal to A1, A1 into A1 become A1. Okay, and that is the case. If we consider the symmetry of x, look at the character table. Okay, you can see that symmetry of x is equal to B1. Symmetry of x is equal to B1. Okay, then it is, okay, here symmetry of x is equal to B1. A1 into B1 into B1, that is A1 into B1 into B1 is equal to A1, that is equal to A1, that is totally symmetric. Then P not equal to 0, the transition become probable. Okay, so this is our conclusion. This electronic transition, especially the n-pi star transition, are made possible by accompanying vibrational transition, and this is called vibrational stealing, or such vibrations are called vibronic transition. Vibronic means vibrational electronic transition. Okay, so this is the point. I conclude that there are two types of transition mainly in UV visible spectroscopy: pi star and n-pi star transition. Pi star transition is a symmetry allowed transition. N-pi star transition is a symmetry forbidden transition. But even though it takes place due to the accompanying vibrational transition, it is called a vibronic transition or vibronic coupling or vibrational stealing. Okay, I think you have understand this thing. Okay, read the textbook well. Okay, thank you.
Papa.